Despite more than a month of shutdowns in Boston, there's still no decrease in the number of shootings or homicides. That means a continued need for help with trauma recovery, much of it carried out by the Louis D. Brown Peace Institute. But even this organization has to re-engineer its signature fundraising event, the annual Mother's Day Walk for Peace. To tell us about this year's plans for a virtual event and the work it supports is the Communication and Marketing Coordinator, Shalita Isla Francis. Thank you very much for being with us, Shalita.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Shalita, I want to ask you about the origins of the Peace Institute, because this is at the most basic level, people connecting with each other and healing. How does that work exactly?
Yes. So on the most basic level, we are a center of healing, teaching, and learning for families and communities that are impacted by murder, grief, trauma, and loss. We got our start about 25 years ago after the shooting and murder of Louis D. Brown. He was a young activist in the community of Dorchester, and on his way to a Teens Against Gang Violence Christmas party, he was caught in the crossfire. When that happened, our boss often said, our president and CEO, Tina Sherry, often says that when she left the hospital, she left empty-hearted and empty-handed. There were no coordinated response in the city of Boston to homicide. So any family that experienced the loss of a loved one to murder, they just had to figure it out on themselves and figure out a way to heal. And this really urged Tina, and she really got her going to really find ways that she can support families that had experienced the same loss that she was experiencing. And so fast forward 25 years later, this is what we're doing. We're meeting families in the immediate aftermath of a homicide, and we're working with them to help them regain the control that they have lost to losing someone in such a horrific way, and just helping them find a way that they can heal, and help interrupt those cycles of violence in our community.
Speaking of cycles, Louis D. Brown was shot on Geneva Avenue, and it was only a couple of weeks ago, a 17-year-old girl was killed in a shooting just one block away on Topaz Street. Doesn't that sort of resonate with people too, that one shooting into another?
Yeah, I think it has an impact. Every shooting has an impact, regardless of the age, regardless of the story. And for survivors, it re-traumatizes us. It's like, it doesn't go away. There's always impact.
When you designed this march every year, and of course this is, let's say you organizationally, walking down the street, getting all of these people to come out, a lot of them showing pictures of the people that they're trying to remember. What does that do for people?
Yeah, I think the walk in essence is like when you walk the walk, you just feel this sense of solidarity, a community coming together to support one another. I think it helps people heal in a way. I think healing is not just like it's a personal thing, but you need community to heal as well. And I think that walk does that for survivors and for the community on the broad spectrum as well. Yeah, it's a way people can just come together and also recognize the lived experiences of survivors as well in their voices.
Well, one of the things that I see going on here is that it also overcomes the kind of stigma of violence, because no matter how innocent you are, if you're a victim, sometimes people, they want to sort of keep away from you. And here it is, people, they're not keeping away, they're coming closer. How does that help?
Sorry, I didn't hear the last part.
How does it help when people come closer like that? Because, a lot of times people don't want to go near you. They're afraid you're going to say something that's going to make you feel sad. And all of a sudden, these people, they look as if they're happy to be with each other.
Yeah, I think in a sense it like humanizes and just normalizes, like it just recognizes the pain, like showing that you are human. And I think it does a way of just like creating community. I don't know if I'm explaining it well. Like the walk is a thing, like you just have to just experience, but like in a few words, like it creates this sense of just connection, amongst people who have experienced losses in that way, as amongst people who have not, and just creates this sinking people together in their humanness, in their pain, in their experiences.
Because one of the other things you do is on a day-to-day basis, your organization is there for people. Sometimes it could be because something just happened. It could
Mhm.
also mean that people have something come over them. Maybe it's the holidays and they need to
Mhm.
talk to somebody. How does that work exactly?
Yeah, like our doors are always open. Our doors are always open for whoever wants to do that work of healing, regardless. Like our specific focus is homicide and working with families who are impacted by homicide. And it could be a homicide that just happened or a homicide that happened 10 years ago. Like if you want to do that healing work and if you need a community and a support system to help you do that healing work, our doors is always, always open. And like you mentioned, like even during like holidays are difficult for a lot of families when you lose somebody. And what we try to do at the Peace Institute is recognize that, and we send out like memorial cards for the families. We host a lot of family events during that time, so they have a space and have an outlet where they can come together and just be, recognized and heard and supported during a time that could be super, super difficult for families.
And of course, this fills a void on Mother's Day, of course, right?
Yeah, I think you can't never fill a void of like losing a child or losing a loved one to homicide, but there's things that can help, right? And so I think the Mother's Day Walk for Peace is a great example of that, providing that support that you need when you do feel alone, when you do feel like you need that support.
Well, I've been on some of these walks over the years, and it's always a buoyant kind of experience because uplifting. But
Mhm.
how do you do this now if you can't be out on the street all in one place? What's going to be virtual about this one?
Yeah, so unfortunately we can't walk and we're just so sad about that, but it was super important to us to have a presence. And so this year we are going to be going live at 9 a.m. on Mother's Day Walk for Peace.org. And it's going to be a broadcast between Latoya Edwards from NECN and NBC 10 Boston and Tina Sherry, our president and CEO. And they're just going to be, talking about the walk, talking about the lives of survivors. Survivors are going to be joining us as well on this broadcast, and just making our voices heard as survivors and talking about the work that the Peace Institute does.
Well, in addition to survivors, you have always had other supporters in the community. Is there some way that they're going to be able to connect to this event too?
Yeah, like we also have like elected officials joining us as well, and everyone, there's a way everyone could connect is as just joining us live. We wish it could be more interactive, but just due to certain circumstances, like this is how people can engage, joining us live.
Well, I know that in a way you didn't plan it like this, but you've had some practice because the past month and a half or so many things have been shut down. The services that used to take place person to person, you can't do that. So what has it been like with your organization trying to help people?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we've taken everything virtually. So we still work with families within the first 24 to 72 hours of a homicide. Similar to me and you talking right now, this is how we meet with families. Also, we have like our ongoing healing groups, which take place weekly. And so we have Zoom calls as well, just connecting, making sure that we are connected regardless of what shape it looks like. And just also adhering to the rules of like, social distancing, and stuff like that.
We should mention that if people want to ask for help or take part in the virtual fundraiser, is there some way they can get in touch with you on that?
So sorry,
Yeah, if people want to take part in the virtual fundraiser or just ask for help, is there some way they can get in touch with the Institute?
Yeah, so if they want to learn more about the virtual fundraiser and how they can get involved, they can visit us on Mother's Day Walk for Peace.org. And that has all the information of why we walk, what the purpose of our walk, and how people can get involved. And in terms of when you say connect with us, you mean like if a family's trying to connect with us or
Yes,
just
yes, they
people?
need some help.
Yeah, if a family wants to connect with us, they can find our phone number on ldbpeaceinstitute.org, and we're easily they can contact us easily.